Kevin, it's time to start the podcast. This again. Kevin, put the beer down. Start the podcast. The guys have been waiting. For pity's sake. Kevin, how much?
Just 1 second.
Every week, same thing.
Dave, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, finally. Beers
You
before
would think-
podcast. Is that what we've come to?
You would think after, hold on, our 5th season, you would know that,
Yeah.
this comes first. So here we are. We're recording a surprise.
Saturday Night Live has a jacket for Five Timers Club.
Five-timer club. Yeah, we should have got special jackets made. So we've been doing this. This is our 5th season. We're recording a surprise episode. Nobody knows we're doing this.
They don't know.
We're gonna drop it tonight, tomorrow morning, whatever, sometime. And here's some things we're gonna do. We're gonna take a walk down memory lane. We're gonna talk about the first 4 seasons of the podcast, some of our favorite memories. We're going to we're gonna take a look, talk about some draft speculation because that's coming, and we'll talk a little bit about Rennie's amazing analysis that he's been doing as he's been he's poured over the research to come up with this list. So
more on that later.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that.
Do you think? I mean, do you feel like he's stepping on toes? Are you worried about anything like that? Like, or is there more the merrier?
He might be auditioning, but it's I said, it's like when we do this and make it look so easy, then just like any jackwagon thinks they can take their phone and start, making content. But it takes more than just a cell phone to do what we do, Dave.
But man, this is an exciting time. I don't think is this the first time we've done a pre-draft surprise?
Yeah, man, I don't know. I mean, we've done some
I don't either.
Special stuff, but I don't know that we've done anything like this.
I mean, this is such a, you got 11 teams that have all the potential in the world, all the hopes and dreams, and then Junior's going to play too.
Yeah, so much fun. And then we get a surprise. So we're recording this Thursday night. We get a surprise text from a number I didn't even have saved in there because, these people don't talk on our text. Brian Heim comes in last minute, says, and here, backstory, I text Brian yesterday, and I was like, hey, you're picking 6th. Go ahead and just send me, send me some guys that you want to take in the first round. I said, send me some guys you want to take in the second round, and hopefully you're there by then. I said, or if you just want to be like, hey, I want a running back in the first round, I want a wide receiver in the second round, we'll get you the best available.
We've done that before.
Yeah, like just give me some direction, and then that way I'm not trying to call you on the sideline during the end of the game. And he messaged me back. He's like, man, I'm really hoping that the game will be over and I'll be able to get on the phone with you and just like coach you through the first thing. And then he texts me back. He's like, maybe just give me like 6. If you can give me 6 people that are available, I'll just tell you who to pick or something. He goes, just text me or something. I was like, all right. He's not wanting to make a list, right? He's not wanting to.
Yeah. Why would we want to tell you?
Yeah. He's not wanting to divulge to me. You know what I mean? Who he's wanting to take. I was like, that's fine. So then, I'm in a tennis match tonight, and out of I was like, oh wait, that's not the like group chat. That's like
I know
actual text message. And I was like, it's like blown up, and I haven't been paying attention. And I look at it, I was like, dude, Brian Heim gets a freaking peewee or a middle school football game move for the draft. That's epic. So it sounds like we'll have all 12 at the tavern. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's coming fast. I should call Adam and find out, should I have looked at anything yet?
Let's just, I didn't even tell you we're going to do this. This will be real quick. This is just, I think I made a mistake last year of like talking about some players. I didn't pick them up. Somebody else did. They didn't be good. I don't know that any of these guys are going to amount to anything, but this is just a quiz.
Okay.
This was based on the depth chart of teams on through ESPN, just like within the last couple days. So it's possible these guys have changed places, but I don't think so. All right. Tyler Lockett. What team's he on?
Tyler Lockett. He used to be a Seahawk. Is he still a Seahawk?
What team's he?
He's not. I don't know. Okay. I have no idea.
He's a wide receiver for the Titans now.
Okay. I mean,
what team's he on?
If I get to name a team that this player has ever played on, then I win.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, you get a half a point. Khalil Herbert. What team's he on?
Khalil Herbert. Carolina Panthers.
He is not. He's a running back for the Colts now.
Okay.
Last from the past names, Raheem Mostert. What team's he on?
Raheem Mostert. I'm going to guess that he's not on the Washington Commanders.
He is not. He's a Raider.
Okay.
All right.
He's Trey never going to touch the football.
Yeah, probably not. Trey Lance.
Trey Lance.
Big name a few years ago, you know.
He's a quarterback for.
There you go.
Green Bay Packers or Dallas Cowboys?
No,
neither one of those. Was he at Dallas last year?
Chargers. I think he was. He's been around.
Yeah.
Here's a good name. Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Donovan Peoples-Jones. No idea.
Saints. Wide receiver. Two more. Marquez Valdez-Scantling. I love these names.
Oh, I like him. And he was once a Kansas City Chief.
Yeah. Not anymore.
Not anymore. Now he's a New England Patriot.
He is a Seahawk.
Okay.
One more. All right. Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson. Love him. I got his jersey, and so I absolutely know that he plays for the Houston Texans.
He does not. He's a Dolphin.
Okay.
So maybe you got some work to do, Kevin. Maybe you haven't studied the depth charts of all these teams, and you're not ready. No. I actually probably am not. Like I've done some best ball. You know what that is? Like DraftKings, FanDuel, they all do it. Basically, you enter a draft for some sum of money, and then you get paired up with 12 random people, and you pick a team, but no changes. Like that team, and they play your best starting spots, whoever that week, and then you just accumulate points for the season, and you can win some money. So it's a little different than what we do because you don't pick guys that, like, you're going to drop later. You want to pick people that might actually have a good week. But so that's the closest thing I've done to practice drafting. I've gone through that like a few times. But yeah, it's coming up quick. I haven't read magazines. I haven't, studied as much as normal.
Yeah. So when best ball is something that Rennie and Junior used to do when they lived together during college. So it's different than what you were describing.
Yeah, that's it's sometimes terms change over time.
Okay.
That one's been reimagined to a name. Yeah, there you go. So yeah. So
all right.
No awards this week because nothing's happened.
Nothing's happened. Yeah, except for Rennie. Thank you for creating content for us.
Yeah.
So
what do you think of that? We could start there.
Yeah. So I think it's amazing, and I told Rennie he side texted me. And he was like, early on, and he was like, hey, what do you think of this? This is what I'm doing. Do you think that's lame? And I was like, no, I think it's awesome for two reasons. One, because nobody's drafted yet. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so he's doing it just to create like momentum.
Oh, yeah.
So like whether he pulls them out of an envelope or if he actually wrote them down.
Yeah.
They have the same amount of credence, you know what I mean? Yeah, because he doesn't know who anyone's drafting. He doesn't, it's like, and we could say, oh, we know that like Ed's gonna tank at the end of the season, or we know that Brennan's gonna start out strong and then it's gonna fizzle it's like, okay, we could say that, but like they may end up with great drafts. They may end up with players that like pop off. I mean, Adam almost
we'd be thrilled. If he was right?
Yeah, exactly. So, and I said it's very meta in the sense that in the sense that people think they know what they're talking about. and they talk about things with a lot of confidence. And so like this just kind of plays into the fact that none of us know what we're talking about. And so like I just think it's funny, and I think it just, and what'll be funny is like how accurate any of it could be completely opposite, or it could be
people play to their card or their envelope just because of mind games.
Yeah.
So I have two takeaways.
Okay.
2 takeaways to Rennie. Rennie, looking at you. Where's my camera?
Yeah.
One, a critique, and one is a positive. I'll start with the positive.
Okay.
That's good, right? Positive is my favorite part every day after he shows the name, then he does this thing where he leans back on the table, sighs, and then just proceeds to just spout off just off the cuff kind of nonsense. Yep. It's like he's digging deep in his soul, and then out comes just something random that he just made up on the spot, I assume.
But he does. He does have some witty like callbacks to like. I mean, he knows these guys.
Yes. Yeah. No, I just love the pause, the lean back, the sigh, and then. So Brian.
Yeah.
So then critique. We've been doing this league a long time. You before me, right? You were in it, and it's been consistently called the same thing year after year after year after year, and he's got it wrong on every video because he says Harrison Hillbilly League every single time, and it's the Hillbilly Harrison League.
Oh,
I don't know why that gets me, but it's like, he's an OG. He's been around forever, and yet he doesn't even read the title that says Hillbilly Harrison League. But listen to it. Go back and watch a few. He's like, Harrison Hillbilly League. That's not right, Rennie. It's just not good. You haven't been paying attention. That's probably a petty critique, but yeah. So Rennie, we got a few days left. Can't wait to hear my name.
Okay, so like I think Adam dislikes it for 2 reasons. One, his name got called early. That's probably he would say that doesn't matter though. Adam's all about putting the work in, and I think that Adam would have rather Rennie dig into his crystal ball, come up with his own names and his own reasons why he thought they were going to finish that. Even pre-draft, Adam would have appreciated that more.
Because are you saying that if Adam had done this, then there would have been like research done of years past, like trends of, hey, this person. There would have been
an algorithm that he used.
This person has a pattern of 3 years on, 1 year off, making the playoffs. So it's time. It's the 3rd year. This person has drafted a running back 5 times in a row. Their running back, for that position is it's going to be a reach this year for this person, like that kind of stuff. Like really deep and reasoning for why at that draft position, because that's really all you can base it on, right? Draft position and history of the person's tendencies.
And I would say, I may be wrong. I would say both of them have the same statistical probability of being accurate. So
the other thing is poor Ed. Is he ever gonna get over the years that he missed having lineups, like not having full lineups? Is that ever gonna get not thrown in his face?
No. Ed's
without Danny around. Without Danny around to kind of like not. Ed's not as bad as Danny. Because, now there's no Danny.
I feel like it's the newer guys. Like you always, kind of focus on the newer guys. But like Andy blows that out of the water because he wins the championship in year 2. So, or was it his second year?
I thought it was Andy's first.
Was it his first?
Didn't he just make a comment about how he's?
Well, he said he's 100%, but I could be wrong. I thought that he played last year and this year, but maybe he didn't.
It's hard to keep track.
Yeah, because he took Danny's spot. Is that right?
Yeah, but Danny hadn't been gone that long.
We'd have to go back and look. But,
I know it's hard to keep track.
Either way, in the first, season or 2 for Andy, he's been formidable.
Well, but do we know for sure that the year that his son was in, that it wasn't really Andy doing some stuff? Do we know that for sure?
I don't know anything for sure, but he says it wasn't, so. All right.
Oh, Andy said it wasn't. Oh, okay. Well, if Andy said it wasn't.
So we've been doing
He's
this
pretty
podcast.
trustworthy, I suppose.
We've been doing this podcast this is our 5th season. So that's insane, right?
Yeah.
So that means that like we started somewhere around COVID. Yeah. And so Dave talked about somebody putting in work. Dave took the time to go back and kind of review some of this. And so I'm going to attempt to share my screen while we're live.
Yeah. We got some snapshot or screenshots of certain episodes as what stuck out as kind of noteworthy to me. Kevin can decide if he agrees or not. I suppose he would have told me by now or kicked one of them out. And I think I have unless you didn't put them all, I had 11 because I was going to try to come up with this David Letterman top 10 list, but I was afraid it wouldn't make YouTube if I said David Letterman top 10. So it's 11. It's not top 10 list at all.
So do you see my screen now, Dave?
I do. I think everybody else should be able to. So correct me if I'm wrong, but according to my list, I believe this is numero uno. I mean, you guys start off with,
this should be the episode 1, season 1. This is the pilot, as they would say. And so what do you remember about the starting of this podcast, Dave?
A rare moment of you holding a beer. That's for certain.
I don't know
never
where that
saw
came
that
from.
again.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I didn't really know what we were getting into. Didn't think it would go at the time. I don't even think we'd committed to. You said something I rewatched most of this. Yeah. And you said like, oh, we'll do it every other week. Yeah. Well, it wasn't every other.
No. We started and we haven't stopped.
Yeah. So that was the beginning of not knowing what we were getting into right there.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll go on to our second one. Really early on in doing the podcast, we decided it would be fun to have guests. And so in season 1, you were saying we had a lot of guests, and Brennan was our first.
Yeah. So what stuck out with this is I called it the lost podcast.
The lost episode, because here's what happened.
Yes.
You guys don't maybe know all this. We've talked a little bit about it like during the podcast, is that this very complex system that we use, Microsoft Teams, I'm basically recording a call that Dave and I have, like a meeting that we're having. And so I have to make sure that I record this call every time that I do it. And so we're doing Brennan, and I don't remember, what episode was this, Dave?
So this was season 1, episode 8, the Lost Podcast is what I call it.
Yeah, so season 1, episode 8. First time, we're about midway through the season. First time I forgot to hit record. And so we're halfway through the interview with Brennan, and I realize I haven't hit record. And so half of Brennan's conversation was lost, and it's a train wreck of a, yeah.
If you remember, you made up of this new like thing where you kind of like at the beginning it was all sad, and then you talked for a while, then all of a sudden it just cuts to a middle of a conversation of what you actually recorded.
Yeah.
And man, poor Brennan, he had some good stuff, he said.
Yeah.
I don't remember a lot because it's not there to review, but
never got recorded.
Yeah, but you know what? You never did it again, and I never brought it up either.
Yeah. We've had some other technical difficulties though, which we'll get to. This is the birth of a legend.
Season 2, episode 11. Rip makes his first appearance. I'm pretty sure I got this right. I mean, I was scrolling through all the videos, and it's the first time I see his face.
Okay.
and that's season 2.
Do you know
he made several appearances after that.
Yeah. Do you know what the impetus was of Rip showing up? I'm pretty sure it had something to do with a matchup with Adam.
Oh, really? Okay.
So
that, this has been going on long enough to where the funny thing is, when you did this, I knew nothing about Yellowstone.
Yeah.
So I didn't get it. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know the name. And then, now I've watched every content that they put out.
Yeah.
So yeah, now I get it.
Yeah.
It would have hit home more if I would have known
Yeah,
that.
I believe that this was a conversation that you and I were having about the train station.
Yeah, and I was like,
Yeah.
I didn't know what you were talking
sense.
about, but now I do.
All right.
So yeah,
Rip,
man,
Rip shows
that was
up.
the
That's
birth of a
number
legend.
3. Yep. All right. Number 4, this is iconic because this is the Frozen Dave.
Yeah.
This is our second technical difficulty.
And I totally forgot that this happened, probably because a lot of times I don't necessarily, hey, cats. Sorry, don't get cats. I don't always go back and watch it on YouTube, at least not all the way, because I lived it.
Yeah.
But I went back and watched this, and it was just like you just kept talking like you were talking straight into me, because I think live we were still interacting. Yeah. We didn't know, but here I was with this dumb grin on my face for like probably 40 minutes.
Yeah. And then I turned it into a meme. For the whole rest
of season 2, episode 9, I think. So that was 2 in a row. That must have been some bad glitching. That was 8 with the Lost podcast where you didn't record, and then the very next episode.
That was season 1, episode.
Oh yeah, right. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we waited a whole season 2, episode 9.
Yeah. But that whole rest of that season, anytime I needed to post something about you, I posted this photo.
Yeah. Dang.
All right. So we had.
Here we go.
This is
this one. Just backstory. This was tough. This was tough for me to go back and watch anyway, because this was one I wasn't on, because I was going to Jared's hospital. It was the I think the night that he passed away. So that was rough to rewatch it a little bit, because you put his picture at the beginning and it stayed there forever. And I was like, so I had to like get past it, because I was listening, trying to figure out when this was happening. But kudos to Junior for stepping in. A tough time for me. We got through it. He helped. And then at the end of this episode is when you bring out the loser mask.
Yeah.
And that has made several appearances in various forms.
Yes. So, yep. Yeah. The loser bag showed up.
How fitting to have a loser mask on Junior's episode.
Yeah. And is this the only time that you haven't been on an episode? I believe so.
Yeah. I mean, other than being frozen, and not moving, but yeah, I think, but it's. We'll get to that. We'll get to later. You almost weren't on one as well.
Yeah. So. All right. This is epic. We kind of had gotten into a thing where we were trying to get the champions to be on, and so Adam comes on. This is at the height.
It was difficult for me to. I wanted to capture the best screenshot, because this is by far my favorite moment of all 4 years, was when I first saw the red room of Adam doing a podcast from hell.
And that's what I said.
And my face says it all.
I think like, it's like, I was shocked at first, and then I said, Adam, it looks like that you're recording this from the pits of hell or something like that.
Pure, unadulterated joy is on my face from this moment. And like you could. Because it's like, that's the stuff you can't script. Because if he would have said anything ahead of time, then we would have known, and I wouldn't have reacted. Yep. And man, that was awesome.
Yeah. And the thing that he thinks through, he goes and finds a red light. He gets the whole thing set up. And
wait, what? Red light?
Yeah. Oh no. No, he just glows red at night.
I thought whatever room he's in just looks like that.
Yeah, his aura is. And like, we've talked about this before. Adam, if you end up watching this episode, we love you. And wrestling wouldn't be fun if you didn't have the heel, right? Like the guy that like everybody loves to hate, you know what I mean? And so like Adam plays to that. I've told you before, like sometimes people will get aggravated. I was like, they're playing a part, you know what I mean? It's like this whole thing is like, especially in chat, you know what I mean? Like, and the chat
did I get this right? Was this season 3, episode 18?
Yeah, because it's the final last episode of season. Okay. I believe that Adam would have won the championship, and he was at the height of his Red Kingdom. And this is like, I'm sure the Chiefs were about to win a Super Bowl or something after this. So
yeah.
Oh
man.
All
There we
right.
go.
So this feels more recent. What episode is this?
This was season 4, episode 4, the birth of Wyrat Earp. You had your rip and your loser, and I didn't have anything, so I wanted something, and I was trying to spur my team on. It didn't quite work. Didn't quite work, but I brought him back a few times when things were halfway going decent, but it didn't bring me good luck for the season. That's for certain.
So Dave, what's the story behind Wyrat?
So I mean, obviously our group chat, doesn't go very long without a Tombstone reference.
Yep.
We all love it. Most of us anyway that contribute a lot. I watch it as often as I can, so I like the idea of it, and then incorporating my new line of work here with rats. I just thought it's a good combination.
Yep. And so the character was born, Wyrat,
Yeah.
and then you adopted that for this last season as your team name. Is that right?
Yeah, at some point I changed it to Wyrat. Then I got a little for this season so far, unless I change my mind, I got a little revenge going on. So we'll see what happens.
All right. So now
here we go.
I'm going to need some context for this one. I don't remember what this is about.
So we got season 1, episode 9.
Okay.
Adam sends gifts.
Oh.
So you got a big package, and it was a Mountain Dew, and you got beer, and it was this sign, and it was gifts from Adam on your doorstep.
That's right.
That was a special moment for us, because
it was
first, first of its kind, like gifts for the podcasters from the nicest guy in football, right there in fantasy football. So yeah.
Well, and if you go back
stuck out for me.
If you go back to season 1, we did the first one, and like some guys responded to it or whatever, but we'd have to go back in because the only place people talk about it was the group chat, and there's only 4 of them that actually talk in there. And so I think we were kind of like, was this really something? You know what I mean? Do the guys like it? And then I think as the season went, they were looking forward to it. They were talking more about it. And then Adam was like, and to his credit, super complimentary, thought that it was like just how have we gone this far with that, not doing this before. And so he, you were drinking soda, I was drinking beer during the whole thing, and he was like, I want to contribute, and he dropped off gifts for us. And so he had text Katie and was like, hey, what does Dave drink? What does Kevin like? And he super kind of him.
He does his homework.
Yeah.
Even in that, he does his homework.
Yeah, he does. So
his homework. Here's me captured, hanging my head for at least for a brief moment in shame of all the bad things that I'd said and thought about Adam over the years. Yeah. Of course, after the episode, I went away, but for a brief moment, I was, look at me, just kind of like, oh man, I've really been hard on Adam, but here he is being a nice guy.
Adam, thank you. All right, so this one, if you can see it on the screen.
So I don't even know that I knew this happened until going back and looking at it. Maybe you did because you watch.
80%, 80% Dave, 20% sliver of me.
Yeah, and like you never turned your screen on for something, or maybe you thought you did.
It just didn't work. It wouldn't work.
The whole freaking episode, it's just me talking to a screen, thinking I'm talking to you.
But my voice is there, so it's like old school podcast where you just listen to it.
So this was season 4, episode 15, and for some reason I put down, were you having a bad season by then? Maybe that late? I don't think so.
No, I finished. I finished like 4th or 5th in the standings.
So I don't know why, but so maybe my title was gonna be Kevin Too Sad to Turn the Camera On, but no, you just. This was another one of those things that, hey, live podcast recorded.
Yeah.
Things can go wrong and you don't even know it.
We don't have a crew.
This was your time. You sort of weren't on, but you were on. Your voice was on.
Yep. And then this is the you taking on my persona.
Yeah. So I was doing bad. This was season 3, episode 7. that, a couple years ago, well, it's been a theme, but yeah, I wasn't doing so hot, and so I wanted a version of the loser mask, and I thought that maybe your name was synonymous with loser, at least for as
Gotcha.
far as the podcast went, so people would
Yeah.
get it. And so yeah, this was the first appearance of the Kevin mask, which is
Yeah.
synonymous with loser.
And then your cat like destroyed it.
Yeah, yeah. There's another episode a couple later where feel like I guess the right eye is like it looks like a tear because cat ripped it. So it kind of was fitting, it added to the persona.
And then we've got our final one. This is number 11, correct?
Yeah, this
number
was
11.
Season 1, episode 18. The Rinster comes on, and we go down memory lane with the season that he never talks about.
Yeah. So we brought Rennie on to talk about the 2013 perfect season, and that's how we ended the season 1 podcast. Was that and we quizzed Rennie. We asked him, how much he knew about like his roster and his who he played to, in the playoffs and stuff. And some of it he knew, some of it obviously, he didn't remember. But
too many years had gone by.
Yeah. So
lost to the annals of history. So yeah, I mean, that was a good episode. And there's some honorable mentions, of course. I'm sure you got some, but Lee was on, Andy was on. I threw in every now and then a few dongs that made it on the podcast, much to your chagrin, but they all were there. So yeah, a lot of anything that didn't get captured that you think of.
Well, so like we did some of the characters, like those are fun, but we did some pretty funny sketches, you know what I mean? Like you and me, kind of like people maybe don't remember. We don't use it as much because it's a lot longer than just like the intro music that I use. You wrote a song for the podcast.
Hillbilly Harrison League, not Harrison Hillbilly League, Rennie.
Yeah.
The song says it all. So yeah. With the ukulele, it sort of fit.
So you wrote a song.
It made it to. You had it going for a few of the episodes, but it was the beginning.
Yeah. So we have a theme song that we've kind of used. And
we had a number of cold opens that we tried. Some worked, some didn't.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. So I think that those were funny. You and Brennan did the whole thing that you recorded for me, where you were checking on me. It didn't make it on the podcast, but like my favorite episode is the White Castles episode.
Okay.
Where I came in and I'm just eating White Castles and you're like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I've given up, because I'd lost like 8 games in a row. And so like, and then you and Brennan are coming on trying to, give me like counseling because you're worried about me. So yeah. Well, I will say
he's a good actor. He one line he says like we're going back and forth and I say something sort of disparaging maybe about and he's like, Miller said that.
Yeah. So I will say loser Kevin is probably more entertaining for the podcast. When I'm winning,
you are insufferable. Yes. We all know that.
Yeah. So all right, because we're going to continue sharing our screen for just a second. Yeah. You have a part that you want to share. I just added it to this screen, hopefully it shows up for you. Because when I copied and pasted it, it shared like the ESPN formatting. So we're going to transition from like a look back to a look forward. So this is kind of like talking about draft stuff. And so Dave wanted to bring up the fact that there's so much discrepancy between who people think like the top, 20, whatever you want to say, players are. And so we've got kind of like a little comparison here. I don't know if that going to make sense for you, Dave?
1,
Can you
2,
see
3,
that?
4. Yeah, I think you can sort of. I don't know why the left is in blue, but that's fine. So we got. I start with ESPN because that's what you always bring because that's our league. But we've been in Yahoo, we've been in Fox. So any of those, if we were still in those, we would use those top. And these are all standard, which means no PPR. So if you take a look at this, some of these I've never really heard of, but maybe some people have. But like Draft Sharks, Bleacher Report, obviously I've heard of them. CBS Sports, Fantasy Football Calculator, Fantasy Pros. I don't know how big some of these ones are, but I could have kept going and going and going, and there's just so many sites now. Like, and they all have their tops. But if you look at this, like, we're pretty locked in to ESPN. Like, we look at it
Right.
probably the most. That's what gets brought to draft day. And, with Josh sitting there with the number one pick, and some of us are kind of Bengals homers. We're like, well, obviously Chase is number one. But if you look across the country, he's not for standard leagues. You
Right.
got Barkley, like, so the consensus number one is not consensus, and then it gets really mucky from there. Like, so I guess it really stuck out. There's some people in certain top 12s that aren't in others, but for the most part, I think 8 of them are the same in just about all of them, or 8 or 9. Some of them kind of surprise you.
Well, and like one of the things we were talking about, and like I had watched a segment, some fantasy stuff the other day where I haven't done a lot of homework, but I'll see some things from time to time. And you and I were talking about like one person in particular is like Christian McCaffrey, right? It's like there are leagues, ESPN, he's ranked 7th, and so depending on like what happens,
so CBS he's 3rd.
Yeah,
Bleacher Report he's
2nd, 3rd, he's 4th,
and this is again
then I've seen others where he's not even in the first. And there's others like, and I feel like he's rising because of just I don't know what it is
because they're not talking. Nobody's talking about health stuff.
Yeah, but there was a time I feel like maybe and I could be wrong about this, but I feel like there was a time maybe like 3 weeks ago where he wasn't even in the first round.
Well, I told you I'd done a couple of those best balls, and he was not picked in the first round, and the ones I did like a month ago,
yeah,
which was hard. It was like before even preseason started, but yeah, as it went on, he started rising.
Yeah, so that's a player. It'll be interesting to see where he goes in our draft. We're not for him or against him. We're just saying that like he's an example of somebody who it has a wide range of like average draft position just based on like so many different factors. I feel like that we had gone from people, traditional was like running back, right? And then we went to running back 0, which meant that like somebody was just going to draft, maybe all 3 of their wide receivers, maybe 2 wide receivers and a quarterback before they ever took a running back. And now the rise of like the elite running backs are back, and so like those guys are coming back to the top again, and so like it's just a really interesting place to be in where it's like there you could make a case for a running back or a wide receiver in the first round at any pick you've got.
Yeah, and like take a player like Taylor. He wasn't even like, he's not even on ESPN's top 12, but he's on some of these other ones, and as high as 6, I think is the high. No, yeah, 6 in a couple of them. Like, and he's been quiet. Like, nobody's really talking about Indy. Maybe now that they've picked their quarterback, he'll get more. But yeah, I mean, like, he was a really good player not too long ago.
Yeah,
it's like,
he's a former
those are
number
the kind
one,
of things that
number one fantasy pick.
So I think one of my takeaways from this is we kind of get locked into ESPN, and then you kind of have to use that because at least part of the draft, because people are looking at that, so you're kind of like, well, this guy might drop. But I think one of the takeaways is it's your team, and you can pick whoever you want, and you can find justification on the internet to say why, if you're sitting at any of the spots, picking anybody, because some list is going to have them.
Jefferson's another example, right? Like, he can be as low as 9 and as high as 4.
Yeah. So like, if you want a guy, and because I know we at the draft sometimes we've been like, I can't, you're picking him that early, you're really reaching, but that's only according to one sample, and so that's, I just think, because we got this little, you posted, I think I brought it up as something that we might be able to do on this podcast when we first talked about doing the surprise one, was we'd both get a piece of paper and we'd write out who we thought everybody was going to draft. We seal it up and we'd save it for next week. But then I said, well, maybe we can open it up. And so, you put a little thing out there. So we don't necessarily have to do it now because we can do it right before the draft with everybody. Right. But I mean, you got all these 6 that you could go by. Plus, but then you also got, you kind of know what our team people are like and who they might. So you got. It's going to be hard. I don't know how well people are going to do. I think the only person that will guarantee that they will get one right is Josh.
Yeah.
Because nobody else knows who's going to be available.
Yeah. And tell me this, like, would it be, and maybe it doesn't happen in the first round, but I wouldn't say he's going to go too far in the second round. Like, Higgins is going to go early. It just based on our 12 guys that are drafting and the talk about, well, what if Chase doesn't have the kind of year that he had last year?
Yeah.
Maybe it's T. And so
rolling coverage every week on him.
Yeah. So although he hasn't really done anything in the preseason, which doesn't mean anything, but sucks. Like that first preseason game, like Ja'Marr was just getting whatever he wanted.
Hey, remember Ja'Marr? Yeah, he exists. Yeah. That was what those were.
Yeah.
But so I was kind of glad because I don't want Higgins getting hurt.
Well, and I often think because you and I do the podcast together, I probably pay more attention to your team because we talk about everything than anything else. And like, so 2 years ago, I had Crean Williams. Then last year you had him and he kind of had like a setback. And he's another guy that's like not here on this first round draft pick.
He's on the fantasy football calculator. He's down on number 11. Yeah.
But he has that kind of potential. He has first round potential.
Yeah.
And and I've been teasing, like, again, you got Jaden McDaniels as a steal last year, right?
Yeah.
Like we're even contemplating, like, should I start him? Should I start him? And he's your prototypical kind of quarterback.
Yeah.
Well, you're not going to get him past the fourth round this year.
No, this year it's, last year was the window to get a guy. So then you're just like, okay, this year, who's going to be that guy?
Yeah.
But there's not always a guy like that,
no. Yeah. A lot of people are talking about Bo Nix as that guy, but I don't know that it's going to be,
I've
who
heard
knows?
Drake May talk of, he's mobile, he can run, he's going to run more, and then, Kyler Murray, he's back, he's healthy, he's going to do he's that kind of guy. You got, Justin Fields is like, he could run anytime, there's a lot of those guys out there, but you're not, who's going to be, is talking value,
right.
Is if you can get that guy in the 8th round, 7th round, and don't have to pick him in the 3rd or the 2nd, where you might get the big 3 runners, Allen and Lamar and Daniels. And I would put Hurts in there, maybe. I don't know. He gets thrown in there as the top 4. And then you got, then you're done with the runners and you got Burrow as 5. And then after that, most people are like, well, if you don't go one of the first 5, then you should wait a while,
Yeah.
But then if you wait a while, somebody else is going to jump in there and think, I'm going to get my guy before anybody else. And then that's when it starts the runs because you don't want to get stuck without one.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that he's going to do great this year, but there's people who you could get whenever you want in the draft, like Tua. But like, would it surprise you if Tua ended up popping off and having a great season?
But I mean, we've talked about this ad nauseum probably, that every week, because I post, who in the like, sometimes I posted who on the waiver wire was the best.
Yeah.
There's always a quarterback, it seems like, on the waiver wire that outscores 5 or 6 of people that start. So if you stream right.
But wouldn't you say that most of our teams, and I would put myself in this camp too, what we want is a no doubt, I put this guy in and I never have to take him out of my lineup. That's what most people want at quarterback, right? They want to be like, I have Jared Allen in there and he's going to,
Josh Allen.
Or Josh Allen. I said, yeah.
But you could, you've had a few of those.
Josh Allen.
But I mean, you could say the same thing about, all right, I'm going to do that with running back and wide receiver. I'm going to load up on those early so I can hit on those guys. I don't have to worry about them. And then I'll take my chances flip-flopping a guy like Tua or Bo Nix in later round, pick weeks to start them.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how it works out for other people, but for me, it normally works out that the guy on my bench scores 40 and the guy on my lineup scores 12.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's where, that's the rub. But there's...
How many games did you have of that last year?
Yeah, a few. But obviously, it's with the stats don't lie that it's way
Who was your
easier
number one?
to
Who was
pick a
your number one?
quarterback.
Who was your number one quarterback that you kept waiting so long to put McDaniels or
I think
Daniels in there?
I blocked him out of my mind. I would have to look. I don't remember. That's been a minute. If I go to 2024, there's got to be a way. Oh yeah, 2024
It's just going
draft
to show you.
recap.
Oh, it'll show you.
Yeah, you can do draft recap. Draft. Oh, that's reset draft. Where's it at? I don't know. That's probably not that important, but
yeah. Somebody.
Yeah, I can't remember, but I probably blocked him out of my mind because I was so frustrated with trying to. And then but then it's like what I was getting at was it is easier, or theoretically, to pick up a guy, a quarterback, than it is to find a running back that's going to start and get you 20.
Oh yeah, there's
people
32,
did it all season.
There's 32 quarterbacks, and you can only start 12 of them. So
if you're going to play that game, you got better you got a better chance to take a quarterback late, or even stream and drop and add and wait and see who does good. Because you got guys that aren't even be like. Remember when Love and Stroud were the next big thing? Yeah. So it's possible one of those guys doesn't even get drafted. I mean, or at least not as it might be somebody's second back in the 15th round.
Yeah,
and but they could light it up any given week.
There's just as high a chance that Stroud or Love could be the week one highest scoring quarterback.
Oh, speaking of, Jordan Love was my guy.
yeah. Well, as soon as we started talking about it, I was like, I think it was Jordan Love.
Yeah. What a difference a year makes. Like, he was supposed to be taking that next step from being and Stroud the same thing.
And people keep talking about Daniels, like, will he have a sophomore slump? Now, he didn't look like it when he played preseason, but who knows? You know what I mean?
That was the Bengals defense.
Yeah. He also has a lot of weapons.
He does. Yeah. I mean,
having Debo there is going to make, that's exciting for them.
Everything I was like up until this preseason game, because I don't think he played the first one. If he did, I didn't see what he did. I don't think he did, but every like draft I'd done and like mocks, he was like not even. It was like way like 5th round, like. But
now he's
once you see him do it, like, I mean, you see what he can do, and you remember what he used to do.
Yeah.
Like, you take a chance on him maybe before you take a chance on 3 or 4 of these rookies that that could be great, but we don't know.
So, hey, do us a favor. If you watch this tomorrow and you have a favorite memory from the podcast, drop it down in the chat. Tell us about maybe what it was like waking up on that morning and saying, what the heck is this? What is this video that these guys have made? Whatever it is, tell us about it, because we'd love to, I never thought that we would do 18 episodes in a season. I never thought that this thing would last this long. I never thought that people would watch. Yeah. So it's been, it gives Dave and I a chance to talk about fantasy football. I learn a little bit. The more we do the podcast, the more successful my team is. So that's good too.
So I'm just thinking about, you probably are decent at Photoshop and all that stuff, or at least you could fake it. If you put together a fake pure headline, like the ESPN rankings, and it made it look real, and then we made our own list and get to Junior, would he be able to tell the difference?
No, so you want me, like, I'm going to show up at the tavern and everybody's going to have a real one, and then I'm going to give Junior a different one.
And it'll be like, the top 4, somebody, who knows, but and he would pick that person and be like, oh, look at that, I got the steal. He dropped all the way to me.
This is reverse psychology, Dave. If I give him a bad draft sheet, he's going to draft well.
He will.
If I give him a normal draft sheet, he's going to draft poorly. So
So stick with the plan. Okay.
Yeah, because if I give him a bad one, he's gonna he's gonna look way down that list. He's gonna be like, oh, Puka Nakua, I'll take him, and be like, oh crap, we weren't expecting him to reach that far, but he did in the first round. Yeah,
did.
Yeah.
So yeah. So Josh is on the clock. He probably already knows, which means the second person probably already knows who they're going to take.
That's Junior.
So he's probably got it figured out but then, I mean, we just looked at 6 different lists. They didn't all say Chase number 1.
So let me just, Dave, what pick do you have? 5. It's a little close, but I feel like I could ask you this. Okay, Dave, if you had the first pick of the draft, 2025, are you going Chase or the field?
Man, up until I did that little exercise, I was probably all Chase. But now, then I started reading more why these people are picking running backs in standard leagues, and I'm like, that's pretty enticing. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know who I want yet with the 5th, so I don't know who I would take with the 1st. I'll say this though. I don't know that I've ever had Chase on a team, and it would be fun to root for him.
Yeah. I believe that I had him. Was it?
Yeah, I don't think I ever have. And so it would be kind of fun to have him on those weeks where he just breaks away and has a 70-yard score and wins you the week. That would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That would
but I don't know that I don't know that that's the most sound thing for our league, because without the point per reception, it's not. I mean, obviously it's not bad, but I don't know that it's not a. There's other things you can do with that pick, and they could all work out.
Yeah, I mean, if he took John, nobody would balk. Although I think, but here's the thing: if you're sitting in 2, you're Junior, and all along you think that you're taking one of the 3 top running backs. You know what I mean? And then Josh goes running back. You're like, thanks for Chase. I'll take him. That's probably what happens.
I mean, and because would it surprise me if Jefferson or Lamb had the most yards and touchdowns this year? Not at all.
No.
Is it possible that Chase would have a letdown?
As much as we want the Bengals to succeed, as much as we want to see Chase have a great season, this is just facts. There are no back-to-back Triple Crown winners. So he did it last year. You know what I mean? Burrow had an MVP caliber season. Chase had the Triple Crown. I just don't know that I see, because I hope that they spread that ball out.
You're breaking Josh's heart right now.
I'm just telling logistic. I'm not saying, I mean, every year in the draft, the person who's ranked number 1, it's always based on what they did the year before. But and I'm not saying he caught lightning in a bottle, but dude, that was the perfect football season.
Yeah.
Multiple
the whole kicking yourself thing. Games. It's we brought up McCaffrey. It wasn't that long ago, and there's been years where it's all right, you'd be an idiot not to take him first.
Yeah.
He could have another one of those seasons, and everybody that passed on, he's going to be like, what was I thinking?
Yeah, he could. I mean, LaDainian Tomlinson put together a set of 2 or 3 seasons there that are pretty remarkable. And
this was a long, I think it was my second year. The first year I actually got to draft my own team, because the first time I inherited a team because you kicked a guy out or something.
Yeah.
And I was at the draft, and I was with all you guys, and I was kind of up on who was decent and who might be good. And I was at number, I can't remember, it might have been 8. It was the 8 or 10 spot. And Sean Alexander dropped all the way there. And I was like, Sean Alexander. And he had an epic season. And rode me all the way to the, and he was like, to me, that I was like, I would have taken him all the way up to my spot. And I thought it was, and everybody else was picking all these other people. And probably at the time they were getting all the hype. I haven't had a pick like that in a while, but that year I'm like, I knew who I wanted, and it dropped all the way to me.
Yeah.
And he was the number one running back.
Yeah.
So it can fall out of every spot.
Yeah. I don't remember. It could have been number one at the time. I had LT when he scored the most touchdowns in football, like combined, because he was running and catching, like just the flip, like the whole thing. And so there's nothing like turning on the TV and knowing that your guy is going to like score every single game.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
man.
Well,
couple days away. Did you see you see my post on I was trying to take a picture driving past the tavern road.
Yeah.
And I'm
Monday night. Yeah. Well, there was another segment that I thought maybe we would have time to do, but we're almost an hour in, so we obviously didn't need it or have time to do it. We got plenty of time
the rest of the season.
Yeah. Well, it was just going to be about, I feel like I've heard more talk about rookie players this year than in a while, because there's several really good rookie running backs, and like the running back is definitely trending younger, right? It's like, these guys retire at 28, and so a lot of rookie running backs and a few rookie wide receivers, and so just you and me talking about like who we think are going to be the most impactful. Now the Raiders kind of have the lock on it. Everybody says that this dude's going to be like the real deal, but
that doesn't always.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But there's several rookies that could have impactful seasons, and
some will do a little more homework and be ready for it.
Well, but there's some guys in our league that tend to really go after rookies, so it'll be interesting to see. Wasn't it one year that Lee drafted like 4 rookie players? He had starting rookie running backs, and maybe he had like a rookie wide receiver, I feel like. So yeah. Last year. Yeah. Last year,
I did that with Bijan too early.
Yeah.
I picked him his rookie year, and
it was a sophomore year.
It wasn't for lack of talent.
Yeah.
It was this coach never gave him the ball. Now he's got a coach that will. So yeah. So we better wrap this up, man.
All right, guys. Looking forward to the tavern. Looking forward to Rennie not calling my name for a couple more days, and we're all set for the 2025-2026 season of the Hillbilly Harrison Fantasy Football League.
Yeah, get on the website and check the commissioner page to know how much money to bring, or be prepared to Venmo me.
All right. Looking forward to it. Dave, thanks for joining me, and congratulations to season 5.
Yes.